and the man of the house is very rich, and all you're doing is distributing largesse, that family will never have peace. And that's the situation in Nigeria, because we're not structured to work. If I were Mr. President, change the system. Send everybody to work.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Oh, no. He's not trying to do. He's trying to look for credible people who will manage distribution of wealth. We're still consuming. Because if it's working, you don't, whether you're credible or not, you have to work. We're not talking about chopping. We're talking about working. But when you're thinking, well, chop, then you're looking for the credible man who will not take it all, who will not be greedy. That's what we're looking for. That's, unfortunately, how come we don't even see the meaning of what we're saying? Credible to do what? If I'm putting somebody in my farm, he's going there to till the soil. We don't have a harvest yet. Why would I be thinking of what he will eat? No, he's going there to till the soil. He's going there to prepare the soil. There's nothing to eat. There's no food. But if it is, oh, it's time for harvest, then I'm looking for credible people to mind the store. We're still thinking consumption. If we change that thinking, Mr. President will have a very easy job.
Mr. Okechukwu, let's bring him in. Mr. Okechukwu, I'm sure you've been hearing the flow of the conversation here. Nigeria, in quote, equals crisis management, change the system from a sharing system to a working system.
That's it.
Is that the plan?
Let me disagree with my brother, Chief Oscar Odiwe. The fact is, has he asked himself, why is it that all organs of government have started working the way they did not work before?
Oh, God.
Even those who work on the electricity industry,
Oh, no.
the EFCC, the ministries. Why? How come? It's because carefully Mr. President is trying to build up a foundation. He doesn't want to make unnecessary mistakes. And what he's doing is not about chopping. He is trying to, has he not heard Mr. President telling all the organizations, all the agencies, like the NNPC, that we don't want multiple accounts? The Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Customs Service, some used to have up to 20 different accounts in different banks. Before the money could get to the Federation account, the money started missing. And Mr. President called all of them to attention and said, please, let's have one single Federation account with the Central Bank of Nigeria. And that is taking root. A lot of villagers will tell you today they have more electricity than they used to have in the past. What has happened is the aura, the character, and the stage President Muhammad Buhari is setting for the Nigerian people. For the fact that somebody is building new rules for sound governance, good governance, it might be very simple to think that he's trying to assemble those who will chop, while at the same time, that is exactly what he's fighting against. He knows there are a lot of people that contributed for his election. A lot of people contributed in one way or the other. But he's placing the interests of the Nigerian people because he reasons that at his age, and as he said, having sought for this office for 4 good times, and the Nigerian people with their votes voted for him, what is the social contract he has with them? The social contract he has with them is that it's not going to be business as usual. That those who used to take government money as personal funds, that's not going to be the issue again. And that is why you could see that there's motion without much noise. A lot of people expected Mr. President to be making a lot of noise, but if you go through what he said in the Washington Post article while he was in the US, he said it will be prudent that we are careful in designing the new rules. Because if we resort to the old ways of job for the boys, we might, at the end of the day, disappoint the Nigerian people, lead them back to hopelessness. But I think that what Odiwe should also recollect, as Shitu said, is that when suddenly you found that you have been hearing that there is corruption, but the documents are now be given to you, you now found that a lot of money coming from the liquefied natural gas, the signature bonuses, that the money could not be traced anywhere. Because when he said that he met an empty treasury, a lot of people thought it was just joking. But it is becoming clear that he met an empty treasury. And luckily, different parts of the world have supplied information on where our monies are. He went to talk to the issues himself. He had talked to a lot of permanent secretaries, held private discussions with them. Don't forget that before, he didn't just sack the service chiefs the first day he entered office. He had a lot of meetings, personal meetings with some of them, that differed with what they gave him in the paper. Because the handover note might be saying one thing, but on person-to-person meetings and official joint meetings, Mr. President got a lot out of the service chiefs before he told them, gentlemen, thanks. Was it not an example when the former chief of defense staff now came to say that he headed an army where there was no weapon and that was not motivated? And that was the same chief of defense staff when the governor of Borno State said that the Boko Haram is better equipped and better motivated in Nigerian military. The same chief of staff said, shut up, why are you saying this? So, Mr. President had not told the Nigerian people what he had found in Ikiti. It will be very, very damning one day or the other, but he had been restrained. He said, look, the former administration, they are Nigerians. We cannot just expose all the what we found because we are talking of Nigeria as our country.
Okay.
But be that as it may, what is guaranteed is that the foundation Mr. President is laying for the country is going to be witnessed in a few years' time.
Okay.
It might not be very accurate now what is going to happen, but even those who will be appointed as ministers in September or heads of agencies, they should start now organizing themselves, because no matter how they do it.
How they organize themselves if they don't know if they are going to be appointed?
No. The point is that there is a new rule that will be in the place, like a code of conduct, that Mr. President is trying to phantom into the account, so that if you are being appointed, you are given a copy. Please go home and study it. If it doesn't suit you, if you are trying to come here to make money, please go back to your business and make your profits and get billions.
Okay. Mr. Okechukwu, we'll come back to you. I know Mr. Ondiwe wants to respond, but let's have Mr. Shitu weigh in on this.
Well, what I want to say is that the appointment of ministers is not a tea party. It's not just something that you can figure out before you come out. Okay, if you have in mind that these persons are credible and they have sufficient integrity and you want to appoint them before you come into power. Now, if you come to power and you zero in on some names, you have to send these names for security screening. And some facts that might not be available to you might be available to security agencies. Now, if the feedback you receive after you send these names for security clearance is negative, will you go ahead and appoint? I think we should be fair to the president. This is a president who has tried to aspire for this office 3 times, and he only succeeded for the 4th time. If he has in mind that Wahab Shitu is credible, for instance, before he came into power, and he sends my name for security screening, and God forbid, the result is negative, will he go ahead and appoint Wahab Shitu? I think we should be very, very, very fair. There's nobody who can accuse this president and the vice president of dishonesty, of being corrupt, or lacking in integrity. Now, if you have so much international goodwill that the president has, and which was confirmed by the most powerful president in the whole world, President Obama, who said he's a president who came to power with clear agenda, who is noted for integrity, who is noted for not being corrupt. Do you want to squander this goodwill by bringing on board people of questionable antecedent?
So are you
when you know that ultimately, if you succeed, the credit will come to you. Now, if you fail, people will hold you accountable. You have to be very careful, and then you have to also defer to security opinions.
So are you implying that the president has been looking, okay, before he actually became the president, he was